In this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in Wyoming, Michigan, and we're getting after it right now. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your good buddy Jimmy Kegle right here in the Grand Rapids Metro. I do so many videos about what it's like to eat, sleep, live, play, work, and have fun in the Grand Rapids Metro. If you've not yet subscribed, start right now by hitting that subscribe button and tapping that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. And honestly, I'm helping so many people from all over the country buy, sell, and relocate here in the Grand Rapids Metro, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking of moving or relocating here to the Grand Rapids Metro, you gotta give me a call, give me a text, give me an email, even set up that smoke signal. However you wanna get a hold of us, we got your back when you're moving to Grand Rapids Metro. So Wyoming, Michigan is a great place. One of the pros of Wyoming is there is a ton of diverse population. Most areas are a great mash of all different kinds of ethnicities, and there's too many to count. You know, some areas are a little more heavy in one than the other, but most are just a really good mix. And I personally think it's always a great thing when you get a more diverse population, because it just adds and helps to the diversity and the flavor and the fun of the community. So it's a great thing. And you know, part of that diverse culture, you have great Mexican food. There are some amazing restaurants that are the authentic Mexican, not the American version, but the real authentic tortillas, tacos, burritos, all kinds of great stuff. There's a good mix of some large employers in and around Wyoming, the largest being Metro Hospital. And you can see right here, that's the campus of the Metro Hospital. It's a huge campus. There's hotels there and other restaurants, and that's a huge employer. And then they also have smaller campuses all around. But Metro Hospital is one of the biggest ones. Yeah, like I said, you can see right there, and they're the largest employer with approximately 2,567 employees. The second largest employer is Gordon Foods. Gordon Foods is a huge national company that distributes food all over the country, and they're headquartered right in Wyoming, Michigan, which is pretty darn cool. And they're the second largest employer. You can see the world headquarters right here, and they're just number two. They're a close number two with 2,154 employees. And then there's a few other major employees too, like you can see right here, Michigan Turkey, UPS, and GM. Other than that, there's a huge mix of construction, city jobs, all your typical retail, and you know, doctors, dentists, everything else. But those are a couple of the main employers. So there's been some good job retention in Wyoming, and I think that area is only growing and getting bigger and better. So that's a great sign for the economy for the city of Wyoming, that the jobs are going so well there. Wyoming's got another really good pro of Wyoming is there's some major roads that run right through it. You've got Burlingame, a huge road with tons of offices and neighborhoods offshooting off of it. You've got 28th Street hitting part of that. 28th Street running right through Wyoming, which has got every kind of hotel chain, restaurant chain, fast food, and dining restaurant. It's just a major thoroughfare through Grand Rapids Metro, and it goes right through Wyoming. It's a big part of Wyoming. Many shopping centers are there. So it's got, then there's 44th goes through Wyoming. Just several big roads, big major roads. And then you got 131 highway that goes right through Wyoming as well. So it's got good on and off. You can get all over the city pretty quickly through Wyoming, either going through a major street to hitting an intersection of a highway, or just taking a major street and getting to your destination that way. So that's a really good plus for Wyoming. So as you can see right here, this is a map of Wyoming. You can see the relationship to Grand Rapids. It's super close, 5-10 minutes, depending on where you're at. It's a good sized city. There's Metro Hospital, there's a location of Gordon Foods. You can see Michigan Turkey and a few of the other locations. And then also on that map, you can see the arrows pointing to 131, the highway, and then 28th Street and 44th, some of the major roads that run in and out of Wyoming, just so you get a good idea of the city. One of the biggest pros of Wyoming is it's got a incredible amount of different types of housing. I mean, you name it, it's got it. It doesn't have any lakefront or waterfront, but other than that, I mean, maybe a pond or two, but I don't really call that lakefront. But anyways, there's a huge amount of types of houses. You've got new construction, new houses, going from like 250 to $500,000 plus. You've got condos, brand new condos that start at 180 to 200 up to 400,000. You've got existing condos that go all the way down to 130 and up. And then you've got some traditional neighborhoods that have been there for years, really nice neighborhoods, and those kind of run in the maybe 130 to 170 range. And then you've got some mid-level neighborhoods that run in the 170 to maybe 250 range. There's many different types of housing. So I already talked about the condos, the older neighborhoods. They've got new construction. There's a lot of new construction neighborhoods coming up. So there's got a really good population. There's also a good amount of apartments. So if you're not quite ready to buy something, you need to rent. There's a large amount of apartments ranging in price from $800 to $800 a month, all the way up to $1,500 a month. So it's got a great, a good amount of types of living. So here's a typical neighborhood in Wyoming, and these houses go for about 135 to 165, and you can see just smaller starter type level homes, but really nice. And then this neighborhood right here is a more of a mid-priced neighborhood. It has a price range of about 160 to 220,000. And then this is some new construction, and these go from 300 all the way up to 500,000 plus. And then, as I said before, there's some newer and older condos, houses right here in the city that have, And then another part of you've got houses, you got a lot of city living, but you also have some new neighborhoods that are coming up a little bit more in the country. Not that there's a real country version of Wyoming, but just a little bit farther out. And that's just another version of, another type of housing that you have in the city of Wyoming. I couldn't talk about the city of Wyoming without mentioning Craig's Cruisers. Craig's Cruisers is a ton of fun for the family. The kids have kind of birthday parties there where the whole thing's planned out, where they have pizza and food and desserts and all that things for the kids. And then they get so many games to play because there's an arcade there. There's indoor and outdoor go-karts that go really fast. And there's more of a little kiddie version. They have one of those little ponds where you can spray people with the little bumper cars, which kids love. Putt-putt. They got laser tag. They got one of those jungle gyms. I don't know, there's nets and stuff in the air that above the ground that kids have to make their way through, kind of like a maze. And the laser tag's really cool because there's a big group of people that go in there, and then you try to each person's on a certain team. You try to get the other one, so it's really fun. I mean, it's great for the kids, and it's pretty cool if you're a parent. You get to be a kid a little bit going there. So Craig's Cruisers are really cool, and even if you don't have kids, you can go there as an adult because the outdoor and indoor go-karts are pretty darn fast. I've been to a lot of different go-karts places, and I would put Craig Cruisers in that higher end as far as the speed, and you better be holding on because those G-forces will throw you over. And you gotta be careful not to hit too many people, but you can give a little nudge if you're trying to get in first place, and I've done that more than once, so it's pretty fun. Yeah, and as you can see right here, that's Craig's Cruisers from the outside. There's some pictures of the putt-putt. There's a couple pictures of the go-karts, so it gives you a good idea that it's a really fun place, and it's only gotten better and better. And they keep it, what I like about it too, compared to many of them, they keep it really clean, very family oriented. They don't let your shenanigans go on, no shenanigans, and it's just a great place for the kids to have fun. Another really cool thing about Wyoming is they just built a brand new sweet library. And it's got tons of books. They have movies going on there at times for the kids. They've got a Braille center. They've got all kinds of unique things there for the kids and for just people in general. And it's just a really cool library. As you can see right here with this video, how the outside, it's really cool and modern. And I think they did a great job building it and just made it a very unique library. And that really adds a lot to the community to have a great library like that. Wyoming is the 14th largest city in Michigan, So, it's not a huge city, but it's not a really tiny city either, obviously. So, and they're growing. So it's a good sized community like that. And what's nice about Wyoming is it's growing, but it still has that real kind of small town feel, even though there's a lot of it is in what you'd call the city. So that's another cool thing about Wyoming. So, one of the cons of Wyoming is there is some urban decay. There was a huge GM plant that had thousands of employees, and that went out several years ago, and that really hurt the town. And so there's definitely some negatives with that. You see some areas that are boarded up, some smaller strip centers that used to be really nice, and now they're either gone or they're a lot smaller. And they used to have some decent retail. They still have some retail that's pretty good, but they had some good shops that were there. But when Granville, which is about 10 minutes away, created a huge mall called Granville Mall, that really took a toll on all the retail. So a lot of the major, what I would call Class A retail, went down by the mall because you're either in the mall or you have, you're on the outlots, which you get because so many people go to the mall. So that definitely took a toll on the Wyoming retail centers. Another con I would say is there's no airport in Wyoming. It's too small of a city to have a major airport, but the pro of it is you're only 10-12 minutes to the airport, and you're at the Gerald R. Ford International Airport in Grand Rapids, which is a great airport and can take it's got flights all over the country and international. So it's a great airport, and you're only 12-15 minutes away, but there is no airport in Wyoming. Another con I would say to live in Wyoming, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, is there's no major shopping center, which is always nice to have one. There's definitely some retail shops, but as I said before, Granville created a huge mall, Rivertown, and it's got every, just a typical huge mall that's got a really cool carousel in it for the kids, and I would definitely call it a higher end, really cool mall. And that took a lot of the shops away. So that's a negative that you don't have a major shopping center, but you're only 10-12 minutes away, and you can get to Rivertown, and then you got your own great mall. So it's not that big of a deal. Here are a few that I wouldn't really call it a pro or a con. It's kind of right down the middle. And, winter. So winters in Michigan are intense, and no different in the city of Wyoming. So, winters, it can go weeks on end without any sun. I mean, it's not pitch black, but it's cloudy. And, as I've said before, I don't care who we are, that can be a buzzkill for, clouds. You just want to see the sun. So that can get people a little bit down. And then obviously just the cold, people, get really cold, and the snow and all that. So some people think that's a negative. Other people like me love it. I mean, building snowmen with their kids is amazing, tons of fun. Just the beauty of making everything white and clean and crisp when you get a good snowfall there's nothing better. And then you can do cross-country skiing and all that kind of stuff. So there's tons of winter sports. And then, just outside of, 20 minutes away from Wyoming, you've got some major ski hills. So you can do downhill skiing and snowboarding and all those good things. And then you can go also do snowmobiling. But that's outside of the city. There's no one's doing snowmobiling inside Wyoming. You get in trouble pretty quick by the cops, I think. But yeah, so winter, it's either positive or negative. Another one that's kind of right down the middle is the school system. I don't have any kids there, and I don't have any friends that have had kids. I know a little bit about it, just from selling houses, other people in and out. And I would base it kind of in the lower middle of other school systems in and around Grand Rapids. So it's not, not terrible, definitely not great either. I think that's improving, and there's some good schools there. And obviously, I like to be fair to everybody. I mean, if you have a great teacher and you have a kid that wants to put the work in, and the parents, I don't care what school you go to, you can get a great education and do really well. So they've got some good schools there. It's just what the consensus is for most people is I'd say it's on the lower to middle kind of range. So that's either good or bad. Again, it's just kind of in the middle depending on what you think. Another one that's kind of right down the middle for Wyoming is, there's quite a bit of traffic because it's right in the city, and you've got all these major streets going right through it and highways. Once you get to 5 o'clock or early in the morning, 7 to 10 a.m., all those major roads can get pretty busy. And it's not terrible, compared to a huge city like Chicago, but it's definitely getting more and more traffic on those roads. And you'll notice that if you're trying to get to a highway or get across town during that time frame, it can get pretty busy, and there's some pretty good traffic. But then other people that visit or come here, compared to a big city, they say the traffic's not bad at all. So that's kind of another right down the middle. So I hope that gives you a pretty good idea of the city of Wyoming. It's a good place. They're growing, and it's got a great diverse culture. Some really good housing there, new and existing. They have a whole plethora of types of homes, of housing available that really add to the vibrance and the greatness of the community. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out, give me a comment if you want me doing anything else on Wyoming, or if you have any questions about Wyoming. I'm happy to answer those. If I didn't answer that in the video, I'll do the best I can. So as I said before, I love helping people. Anybody that's moving to the city of Wyoming or anywhere in the Grand Rapids Metro, I'm here to help you out any way I can. Or if you just have questions about the area, I'll give you the best honest answer I can give you. And I'm here to help you out in any way. So all you gotta do, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment or give me a call, give me a text at that number, send me an email. However you want to get a hold of me, I'm here to help you and got your back when you're moving to the Grand Rapids Metro or City of Wyoming.